Hi, everyone. I'm Brenda Bertrand, and I am a chaplain here at Fuller Seminary, as well as in the U.S. Army. I'm also a spiritual companion to emerging leaders in ministry and marketplace, and it's a joy to share my vocational journey with you. When I said yes, that big yes, taking that big leap to seminary, I was really immersed and deeply embedded in a loving, meaningful community. I'd been there for over a decade, had been doing great work. I also owned a condo and a car and had a wonderful career. And I sense a very clear call to go to seminary, and it felt costly. Honestly, it felt really costly. And I took that big leap. It was a big yes, right? And I know a lot of you have done that. No matter what your age, no matter whether it's your second, third career, as it was for me, or if you're coming right out of undergrad or right out of another grad program, when saying yes to seminary feels really big. And that big yes takes a lot out of us. And for me, it did. Once I actually showed up there, I was just, my head was spinning. I was like, what have I done? What am I going to do with this paper? How much is this costing me? And there were a lot of little yeses that I didn't anticipate that required my constant surrender, a constant yes, a constant awareness and discernment as to what God was calling me to in the now of my seminary experience, not the future, not what I was going to do with it, but in the now. And I wonder, and I'm curious for you, what are those little yeses that you're being called to that maybe you're feeling resistant to, or you're just really tired from that big yes, that now all these little yeses feel a little more difficult? And I know for me, some of the yeses was showing up as myself, saying yes to being curious to theologies that were different than what I had been taught, saying yes to relationships with people that I just didn't agree with, saying yes to sharing my voice when I'd rather be quiet because I didn't know what the backlash would be or what people's reaction would be. So, what is the yes in this present moment that is calling you? Because those little yeses, they actually help in your long-term discernment. They help in your ability to hear the next question for those big yeses that's coming up, right? But it's these little yeses along the way that if God had told you that you would have to do these things, you would have said no to coming to seminary. It's the surprises. It's some of those painful parts. It's dealing with some of, I remember one of my yeses that I was really resistant to, the little yes, was really working through some church hurt that I brought with me to seminary. And would I say yes to going down there and not just staying in my cerebral, you know, critical mind around church and the purpose of church, but actually getting down and saying yes to healing some of the church hurt I experienced before seminary? So you hone your discernment muscles through those yeses. The next thing I want to share with you is to just be open to the meta curriculum. There's the curriculum that Fuller sets. I'm sure Dr. Clarke gave you a syllabus for this course, right? Like there's a plan, and then there's the plan underneath. My friends and I would call it the spirit school. Like the Holy Spirit, she has her own plan of what is going on right now and how to grow us and mature us. But I had to live in the present moment to notice that there was more going on beneath the curriculum, beneath the classes and the requirements. And so I'm asking you, are you able to make space to be present to what's calling you right now? That meta curriculum that's happening under the curriculum. What would you believe if you weren't taught what to believe? Right? What if you're being called to unlearn some theologies? What if you're being taught and called through another curriculum that you can't see, to see yourself differently, to see yourself as a church leader when you said you'd never be a pastor? Is there a meta curriculum that's forming, that's calling you in the present moment to learn lessons that you would have never imagined, that no one can put on a syllabus, that only God, knowing you uniquely, can teach you these lessons? And lastly, I just want to encourage you. I want to look you in the eye and let you know that you belong here. There were many months and years probably in seminary where I thought I made a mistake, that I didn't have what it took, that I didn't know how to write, theological papers, or how to really theologize and how to speak in that way or how to communicate. Um, and it was over and over showing up and bringing my full story with me that actually transformed my experience of seminary. When I stopped compartmentalizing and started actually honoring who I was before seminary and who I am now and who I'm becoming, that I found that none of my story was wasted, that all of it together, when I bring my full self, all my Blackness, all my femaleness, all of my contemplative leanings, when I brought all of it to my papers and to my groups and to my posts, I actually started to feel a greater peace because I wasn't compartmentalizing or betraying any parts of myself. And God uses all of it if we allow God to do so. So, friends, I hope you can say those little yeses, those painful little yeses, and those exhilarating yeses that actually hone your discernment. I hope you're aware in the present moment of what's calling you right now. Something's calling you now that you're in seminary. And lastly, bring your full self. We need the fullness of who you are here. We need that representation of the presence of God that is you, as you. You belong here. You have what it takes. So I pray for your vocational journey that you would experience God's presence, that the community will help you to see yourself as you are and who you are becoming. And let me know if I can help in any way. God bless, and we'll connect soon.